Thanks for tuning in, guys. Good to drop in with you again. Hey, we're going to do a mite control on the hive that we've been sampling. Been sampling it over the last few days. I'm making a video for you every day of the week about how to control the Varroa destructor. I'm hoping this is helping you because we're getting ready to wind up our summer season, get into fall management, and that gets us prepared for winter. First thing we need to do, get our mites under control because we're going to raise an enormous amount of bees of winter physiology that live 4 to 6 months. And so if we can get them cleaned up before viruses take them over, they'll live that whole time. If they get too many viruses that are transmitted by the mites, they're going to live half the time, going to die in March and April on you. So today we're going to do a treatment of Apiguard. Now, not because this is my favorite treatment, but because I'm demonstrating how to treat each different product. I've showed you Formic Pro, I showed you Apivard, and now I'm demonstrating Apiguard, which is thymal. And so we're going to go into a hive. Now, that hive that we've been playing with has a honey super. Number one, we're going to drop in, make sure that there's no brood in the honey super. Then we're going to use some bee banded, honey banded, and we're going to, that's a bad smell that makes the bees get off those honey frames. Then we're going to take the honey super, and then we're going to treat. I want to go first and tell you what the label says about Apiguard. A lot of people like Apiguard. I see it used a lot here on YouTube. Different people speak very highly of Apiguard. What's interesting about Apiguard is it actually kills trachea mites, something you don't hear a lot of, but they are out there. Bees get it in their trachea, little mites. And then, but of course, it is a good treatment for Varroa destructor. Now, this is a slow release. This is not like an instant kill. Bees actually begin tracking it around. They walk through it. They track it through the brood nest area. And so it's a slow release, and it allows the mites to be killed by this product being carried around by the bees. Now, it's September the 1st when I make this video. This first treatment here, it says to leave it in there for 2 weeks. And after 2 weeks, we're going to put a new one in there just like this. And we're going to leave it in there an additional 2 to up to 4 weeks for a total recommended treatment of 6 weeks. That would put us at the window of October the 13th when we're done treating with Apiguard. So it's going to be killing mites, for the next 6 weeks, over a month. So it's kind of exciting to know. I'm going to drop these in there, and I really don't have to worry too much about mites because this treatment is actually taking care of the mites. And also, it's recommended that you peel back this foil on top, lay it right on top of your bees, frames with bees on them, like your top deep or something. It is recommended you use a spacer that allows at least a 1/4 inch for the bees to walk above this tray. I'm going to use a honey super that's also recommended by the company that makes this. And again, the ideal treatment span is 6 weeks on this one. It needs to be above the temperature of 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, bees begin to cluster at temperatures 60 or below. So if bees are clustering, they're not going to be tracking around this treatment. And so they're going to be in a cluster. So you want them to be walking, moving around. That's going to be best. Now, the label says we should also only treat after a honey flow, or before a honey flow, I guess, too, with the supers off. So that's what we're going to do, is take that honey super off. And don't treat them during the hottest time of the day. This product is going to experience sublimation. And so very, very hot temperatures when you're first applying it, it could kind of bother the bees and they may stay away from it. So we're going to put it on now that it's cooler in the evening, and hopefully the bees will get used to it a little bit better. You can use half of a dose if it's really hot. They recommend kind of using a half a dose instead of the whole dose if you want to do it that way. And the label says you can actually feed while you're treating. So you can actually continue your feeding if you're feeding in late summer or fall. Now, these packages like this, when you first buy them, the label says do not store them above 86 degrees. Now, don't confuse that. Some people have confused that with when you can treat. You can treat up to 105 degrees outside temperature. 86 just means they need to be stored at a temperature below 90 degrees. but these are good to be applied up to 105 degrees in the hive. So this is a little bit, you can use these a little bit hotter days than you can Formic Pro, which is in the upper 80s on that Formic Pro. So those are the label things that are important to us. We don't have to wear a mask since there's no vapors immediately going to get us. We are supposed to wear goggles, long sleeves, long pants, shoes, you know, the typical things that make sense to the thinking person. And you should wear goggles, something to protect your eyes, keep your hands out of your eyes and all that good stuff. Wash up after you use it. All right, so let's drop into the hive and get to work. Since I'm not running a queen excluder, I want to make sure that I don't have any brood up in this honey super in the middle. So I'm going to try to take out, looks like it's going to be, this frame here will be the easiest to pull out. And that's ready to be harvested. Just make sure, looks like it all is ready. I'm going to look at one more frame just to make sure. I'll check this next one, and if it's okay, we're good to go. So what our attempt is to do today is take this honey super off. Yeah, they're all good. Harvest this super, and then we'll actually put some Apiguard on this hive. But we can't do it with the honey super on. So we're going to harvest the honey super. I demonstrated this in a few videos ago. We're actually going to, it's called Honey Bandit. Going to spray some onto this towel. And see if we can't run the bees down off of the super. Here we go. They're talking to us. Yeah, for the most part, the bees are out. There's still some over on this edge here. But we'll brush those off here in a little bit with the bee brush. All right, so now that we have our honey super off, we're going to take the Apiguard. It comes in these containers like this. If you buy it like this, it comes in several different ways, but this is what we're going to use today. And this is 50 grams, and we got 2 deeps there. And we're within our temperature zone. We need to stay below 105 is what they recommend. That's the hottest that you would ever want to use it. And if it's really hot, of course, you might want to half it. But anyway, this is the Apiguard, the thymol that we're putting on. And it says to put it on just like this. Leave that little lid open like that and put it right there on top. Now, it says you need to put a spacer or a honey super back on it. So if you had time to harvest your honey super, then you could put this super that you harvested the frames on around it. So we need to give space here for the bees to walk on it and track the thymol, the crystals, the gel down in among the hive, the brood nest area where the mites are. So what we'll do now is take our honey super. This is just an empty super. And we're going to put it on like this. This will give a space needed for the bees to walk and get in contact with the thymol. And my first thought is, what if my bees were to build comb up here? Then I might have a problem. But it's not the time of the year. The label says not to use it during a honey flow. So fall isn't a strong honey flow for me right now. And so I'm not too worried about them building comb up here, but that is something, of course, to watch. So what we're going to do now is put the lid back on it, and that's all it is. I want to say that you guys are the kindest people I've ever met. The comments that you leave on my YouTube channel telling me you appreciate my hard work, gosh, that means a lot to me. I see a lot of YouTubers giving up after a while. They just can't keep up making videos. And I understand that kind of pressure and stress. It's a lot of hard work. People don't realize what it takes to make this happen. So encourage me so I don't give up because I do enjoy it, but I don't like how much time and work it takes. But anyway, I enjoy making videos for you, and I love being encouraged by you in the comments. So thanks so much. I really do appreciate it. This is an opportunity for me to let you know that we're headed for 100,000. Fingers crossed, kind of iffy. Looks like we might do it this year at the end of the year. We're already approaching 95,500, 95,500. So 4,500 more to go. With your help, we can get 100,000 subscribers. So I appreciate your help. So please subscribe. If you subscribe, you're going to be notified each time I make a new video. You won't be wondering, when is he going to make that new video about that one thing he said he was going to do? I don't know where to find it. You subscribe, click on the bell, you're notified when I make new videos like the one today on Apiguard. Yesterday was a mind-blowing video about whether powdered sugar or alcohol wash was better. And boy, it was a coin toss yesterday. It was a tie almost. If you haven't seen that video of us demonstrating, testing out whether a powdered sugar test was as good as an alcohol test, watch this video right here. No, let's put it over here. Watch this video right here because you need to see this. This may help those of you that are using powdered sugar as a way of testing your mites feel a little better. Take a look.